Hi everyone, and welcome back to Excellence Noir, where we seek to raise the standard and change the status quo. On this channel you can find everything to do with nursing, fitness, and of course black excellence. Now I have a story time for you. Now it's not really a messy kind of story time. It's just something that happened to me that I never thought would have happened to me in my life. So today is Friday and I worked on I think Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So I worked Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then I was off yesterday and today. So on Tuesday night I got ready for my night shift as usual. Got to work, had my assignment. I think I was in the COVID bay. I would think I was working with COVID patients that night. And then, we did all what we had to do. My colleagues and we were having a good vibe. So at our bedsides, we have like these buzzers, where like the patient buzzers they can use to call if they need something. Now, I work in critical care, so most of the patients don't need the buzzers, but when we work in COVID, in a COVID bay, we use the buzzers to let the healthcare assistants or other people know that we need help. We need somebody to do something for us, whether it's to run our blood gases or to just get something on the outside for us. So we use the buzzers. So one of my colleagues, absent-mindedly, she was doing something, and next to the buzzers, the patient's buzzers, there are emergency buzzers where if you pull it, then everybody will come, doctors, nurses, managers, everybody will come to if something happens to the patient, you press that like an emergency. So she accidentally pulled that buzzer and then my other colleague, was three of us in the bay, my other colleague and I, we were just like, no, switch it off. And then all of us were laughing at her. So I was laughing a lot because it was very funny, because I was telling her it's not just the assistant that you would get to help you, but everybody would have come down just to run a blood gas, and we were laughing. Anyways, our shift was going good. It was time for our breaks, and then I went for my break. So I went for my break just like a normal break, and I decided I don't think I brought anything. I decided that I was going to just toast some bread. So I would usually do 2 slices, but I don't know if it's the greediness in me that night. I don't know what provoked me. I decided to do 3 slices of bread. So the toaster has the 4 slots that you can put 4 slices of bread. And then I put my 3 slices of bread. And I had some butter there as well. So I had the plate. And I usually want to put the butter on the bread as soon as it comes off. So I was standing right in front of the toaster. So I was talking to one of my colleagues who was there. We were laughing and just, giving jokes and stuff. So then the 2 of the slices came up. They were done. And then I realized the other slice did not come up. So I was like, oh, what's going on? And I could see that it was done. So I wasn't thinking, because it was almost midnight. So I took 2 bread knives and I was trying to pull the bread out of the toaster. So I tried pulling up the handle, but it was stuck. So I guess she was looking at me for a while, probably wondering, this woman has no brains, no brain cells, how can she even be a nurse? So she was like, you know what, just put the toaster off. So before I put the toaster off, it started to smoke the bread. It started to smoke. So I switched the toaster off, then the bread came up. So I was like, so angry, why is this thing not working? Anyways, I took my bread, it was half burnt, like proper black. I didn't care. So I was already embarrassed that the woman had to tell me to switch the toaster off. So I took it and I just put my butter on there and I went to sit and we were talking. And then I started hearing the fire alarm in the distance, because we're in a room, the room is closed, but you could hear the fire alarm. And I'm like, who is testing fire alarms at this hour of the night? It's almost 15 minutes to midnight. And I'm like, who is testing fire alarms at this time? So then I saw, no, I think my manager came in and she was like, no, wait. I saw people like outside the door speaking, and then I just saw my manager came in and some other nurse colleagues, the HCA, and everybody's like, oh, it's here, the fire is here. I was like, and I sat there with the burnt toast eating, and they were like, oh, what's happening? So I told them that my bread got burned, but it's fine, we switched the toaster off. And the fire alarm was just going off, like loud. It wouldn't stop. So they said like, open the window. So I had already opened the window when I noticed it was the fire alarm. And then we opened the door. So she asked me what happened. I told her. Then a few minutes later, we have fire marshals for the hospital. Oh my goodness, I don't even know if it was a few minutes later or it was like a minute or two. The fire marshals rushed down. Oh, what's happening here? They burst through the door. Oh, open the doors, open the windows. I had to tell them the same story again. It was just a toaster. The bread got stuck in the toaster. And at this point, I was like this close to just going home, because I was already so embarrassed that it's just because of a bread all of that happened. And mind you, all while this was happening, the fire alarm just kept singing and more people were coming. Even the doctors came to find out what was happening. And then I was like, okay, the man said it's fine. They were trying to figure out how to switch the fire alarm off, but it wouldn't go off. So the fire marshal said, just ventilate the place. And I was like, okay, all right, you know what, I just have a few minutes. Now, all while this is going on, I'm eating my toast, because I have just a little break time, so I'm not going to let my break time waste. So then my colleague would tell me to look outside, and then I would see all of these big lights, then to find out there are 4 fire engines outside. Like 4, not the little fire engines, the big fire engines outside. I said, you know what, I'll die. I'm done. I cannot work here anymore. This embarrassment. Then the firemen would rush inside. The firemen would rush inside again to ask me, to ask what happened. And I have to say the story again. It's my toast, it got stuck. And honestly, like, I was tired of giving the story. I was tired of the embarrassment. I was tired of everything. And then one of the firemen proceeded to say, 4 fire trucks, 25 firemen for 1 piece of toast. Like, I told the manager, I'm typing up my resignation. I cannot work here anymore. This embarrassment, I cannot live with it. And everybody kept teasing me, even after everybody left and the fire alarm went off. Everybody was like, gossip. So one person told that person and one person told that person, and you will never believe the worst part of that whole experience is every time the fire service comes to the hospital or anywhere, you have to pay them £500 or £400, I don't know, but a lot of money. So the hospital has to pay them for that, and it was not like, it wasn't really a fire. So it was a learning experience for me. The problem is that the toaster was not working, so I just put a label on it to say that it's not working. But it was a learning experience for me. My days of toast are behind me. If I ever have toast again, it will be at my home or somebody else will be toasting. I would rather starve at work than to eat toast. It was so many things that I learned, but one of the best things I feel like out of this experience is that I feel like the management and just the people there were very nice about it. I feel like they could have been worse. The firemen could have been angrier. They were actually very nice. The fire marshals, my manager in charge of the shift, was very nice as well. She just asked me, because we do get fire training and we know that within a few minutes the fire service comes, but I thought the fire service I don't know if I didn't remember it, or I thought that they would come only if there is a real fire. Like, I didn't think as long as the fire alarm went off that the fire service would come. But indeed they came, and it also made me feel very secure knowing that the organization has things in place to ensure our safety and patient safety, because these people were there. Honestly, I had my toast. I had not even finished eating it, and these people were there already. Like, that's how quick. So that's a horrible experience. The embarrassment was a lot. And worse, we didn't have our masks because I was on break, so everybody knows, like the firemen know my face. When they see me in places, they will just laugh. And then I thought that was over. I mean, people, you know, we laughed, we said. The next morning, well, after the shift was done, you know, people were still talking about it. We were just laughing. To be honest, they're very nice, my colleagues. They're not talking about it in a bad way, just like we just kicking off. So I went to sleep. When I woke up from resting that after that night shift, I'll notice that one of my managers, who's very nice to me, he always encourages me, always talks to me, would send me a photo of our fire training that we do online. And one of the questions, because I thought he was trying to ask me a question that he wasn't sure of, so I was like, oh, let me read so I can, you know, see if I know the answer. And then the question was like, oh, if you enter the kitchen at work and the toaster is on fire, what do you do? Yeah, so everybody was like really just giving jokes about it. Then I came back to work the next night and everybody who didn't even work the previous night knew, and they were just laughing. Then I said, you know what, I'm going for my break, and they were like, oh, make sure you don't go and do any toast. Then I took the phone later in that shift to call the blood bank to get blood from my patient, and then the doctor was like, oh, who are you calling, the fire service? Anyways, so that was my experience. I feel like it could have been worse. One of my colleagues said if it was her, she would cry, but I think it was okay because of how nice everybody was about it. It's something that I definitely learned from, and it's something that was really eye-opening. I know that it will not happen to me again. Like I told you all, I will not eat toast anymore. I will not microwave anything. I will not toast anything. I will just starve. But anyways, thank you for listening to my story time, and do enjoy the rest of your day.